Hi, I'm Bridget and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today for this quick 10-minute yoga class. We're going to get started today in a nice, comfortable seated position. So just crossing at the ankles, sitting up nice and tall and just gently closing down the eyes, letting the hands come to rest on the knees. And we'll start to bring our attention to the breath, taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, letting it out through the nose. Seeing if you can lengthen your inhale and exhale. Really slowing it down and just enjoying this moment of stillness. Becoming really present in this moment. Sitting up nice and tall. And then on an exhale, we'll drop the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing deeply. Allowing yourself to be still. And then just gently blinking the eyes open. And we're going to interlace the hands. So interlacing the fingers and then pressing the palms away from you. We're going to inhale, reach the hands all the way up towards the sky, making sure you're still dropping those shoulders away from the ears. They're going to want to start to squeeze themselves up, just dropping them back down. And that might mean that you need to bring a little bit of a bend into the elbows. Squeezing the hands up towards the sky. And you can stay here. Nice and active through the core, almost hugging the lower ribs down. You can stay here, or you might like to find a little bit of movement, just rocking from side to side. Just nice, slow, gentle movements, bringing a little bit of movement into the body. And then slowly coming back to center, and on an exhale, sending the hands out to either side and bringing them down to the mat. From here, we're going to find a wide-legged forward fold. So if you've got a block or a book or something that you can sit up onto nearby, you might like to grab that now just to give yourself a little bit more space. And then we're going to send the legs out to either side and just to wherever feels comfortable. So rather than trying to squish the body into some sort of position that doesn't feel comfortable, just send them out to the side. They don't need to come out to the side. They can still sort of be in front of you here. And then again, sitting nice and tall. So that's where that block or something to sit up onto can come into handy. We're going to get nice and active through the feet here. So drawing the toes back towards you and keeping a nice little micro bend through the knees. And we're going to keep the toes drawing up towards the sky. As we start to fold forward, they're going to want to start to round down. And we're going to see if we can keep them pointing up towards the sky. So inhale, getting nice and tall through the spine, and then exhale. We're going to start to walk the hands forward and just round through the spine. So if you just stay up onto the palms here, that might feel like a nice stretch here. Again, if you need to adjust the legs and bring them forward a little bit more, then you can do that. So just finding what feels best. And then you can find a little bit of movement, maybe swaying from side to side as we start to lower the upper body down. Again, keep those toes pointing up towards the sky. You might come all the way down onto the forearms. You can relax through the head and the neck here. Stay with the breath. Rolling the hips forward here. Relax through the shoulders. Relaxing through the face and the belly. And we'll take one more deep breath here. And then gently make our way back up to seated. So coming back up onto the palms if you're not there already. And then slowly walking the hands back in. We're going to bring the hands underneath the knees and then draw the legs back in towards us. From here, we're going to find another stretch through the backs of the legs. So sending the legs out nice and long in front of you, feet together. And again, see if you can sit up nice and tall. You can keep that block or a cushion underneath the sit bones. Sitting up nice and tall, activate through the toes. So draw them back towards you. And then again, we round the upper body forward over the legs. Round through the head and the neck. You can bring a nice little bend into the knees here. Soften through the arms, relax the shoulders, come back to the breath. You can close down the eyes if that feels comfortable. And then slowly we're going to roll it back up to seated. Let the head and the neck come up last. And while we're here, we're going to find a variation of our boat pose. So I'm just going to center myself on my mat. We're going to bring the hands underneath the knees. So we've got the knees bent, bring the hands underneath the knees, and we start to send the chest back. See if you can keep a nice long line from the top of the head right down to the tailbone. And you might stay here holding the knees and leaving the feet down on your mat, or you might like to start to see if you can lift the feet away from your mat, keeping the chest lifted here, nice and active through the core. Breathing deeply. You might feel it in your hips a little bit here. You might see if you can let go of the arms and send the palms up. Nice and active. And then we'll bring the hands back to the knees and bring the feet back down to our mat. From here, we're going to move into our frog pose. So coming lengthwise on your mat, onto the hands and knees, we're going to start to walk the knees a little bit wider. So slowly lowering the hips down towards your mat and then maybe coming down onto the forearms. Again, we're going to stay nice and active through the toes, so drawing them back towards the knees and then just sinking the hips down. This can feel like quite an intense stretch, so if you feel any tight pinching or anything that feels really uncomfortable, you can move out of this one or just lift the hips back up a little bit more. Nice opening here through the inner legs and the hips. You might find a little bit of a rocking motion here, so you can move forward and backwards if that helps with the stretch. And then when you're ready to make your way out of this one, we're going to activate through the core. So hug the belly button up, come back up onto the palms. We start to walk the knees in, and then we'll gently make our way back to seated. Come back onto my mat, sitting up nice and tall again here, closing down the eyes. Finding stillness, check in with how you feel. And then we'll take a side body stretch from here, so you can gently blink the eyes open. We're going to plant the right palm and inhale up and over with the left, opening up through the left side body here. Staying nice and gentle, you might find a little bit of movement just pulsing through that right elbow. And then exhale up and through center. We'll take it to the other side. Plant the left palm. We reach up and over to the left side with the right hand now. Find a little bit of movement. And then gently we'll come back to center. Before we close our practice, we'll finish with a twist. So bringing the right hand to the left knee, walk the left fingertips behind you and inhale, get really tall through the spine. Exhale, we twist. Inhale to find length through the spine and exhale to twist. You might like to look past the left shoulder. And then exhale, gently coming back to center, and we'll take it to the other side. So bringing the left palm over to the right knee, walking the fingertips behind you, and inhale, we find that length through the spine, and exhale to twist. Inhale, find length. Exhale, twist. Maybe looking past the right shoulder for our last breath here. And then exhale, gently coming back to center. Closing down the eyes again here. If you would like to add on to your practice, then feel free to do that now. Otherwise, we'll close our practice here by bringing the palms together at heart space and bowing through the head and the neck. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. I hope you have an amazing day or night ahead of you. Namaste.